Jules Kounde to Chelsea this morning is reportedly in danger. The clubs had agreed on a fee, as reported by multiple outlets, including ourselves, over the course of the last few weeks. A fee has been set. The conclusion of Kurt Zouma to West Ham was always the agreement between the clubs in terms of Chelsea needed to sell before they were going to buy. There'd been an agreement the whole way along. Jules Kounde had agreed on personal terms to move to Chelsea. But at the 11th hour, as we reported yesterday, this has now been confirmed officially by David Ornstein, by Simon Phillips, and a number of other trusted Chelsea sources, that the deal is now at a situation which is essentially a deadlock. It's in danger of dying. It isn't completely and utterly off at this moment in time. Currently being reported as off by David Ornstein, as you can see here. 15 million euro, around 12 million pounds, is now the additional amount of money that Sevilla want to complete this deal. This is not untypical at this stage of a transfer for a club to suddenly move the goalposts in relation to the fee. It now comes down to who is going to crack. Will Chelsea succumb and pay the additional money? Will Sevilla crack and go back to the original asking price? Or will there be a happy medium found in the middle? The deal isn't 110% off at this moment in time, as some are reporting. Simon Phillips has said, and I'll quote Simon Phillips here, he has said that the deal is not dead yet, though, but Chelsea stand firm. So there's a difference here. Some reporting that it's currently off, others saying that it's on its way to being off. I want your thoughts and your feelings. We're taking your calls on this today. In other news, when it comes to Saul Niguez, reports this morning that Chelsea are forcing the Saul Niguez transfer with Marina locked in late negotiations. We're going to take a look and delve into that for you on the terrace this morning. Make sure you smash that like and share button. We want your thoughts and feelings on these deals. Let's jump straight into it, people. Morning and welcome back to the terrace. It's going to be an exhilarating next 36 hours or so until the around, what are we looking at, man? 24, yeah, about 30 odd hours until the transfer window closes. It is going to be an exhilarating time period, I think. I think it's going to be very, very exhilarating. As we've already reported, we look at Mr. Ornstein's report this morning, and I wouldn't say this has come out of the blue. This is very much what I stated yesterday morning on the Football Terrace, that Chelsea's move for Jules Kounde currently off and not expected to reignite unless Sevilla reduce their price. Chelsea thought verbal agreement in place on a fee, but Sevilla have raised it by 15 million euros. Barring a late twist, Tuchel will go with existing options. And what I find very interesting about that update there is it's saying it's off, but the door is very much left open for this to change. So I wouldn't, as I've already said, I wouldn't overtly panic if I was a Chelsea supporter right now. I wouldn't be overtly worried at this moment in time. Like, I wouldn't be panicking thinking it's done and dusted. I can't imagine there isn't another conversation that takes place. I can't imagine that there isn't going to be more of a discussion about this in the coming days and in the coming hours for me. If it was completely off, if Chelsea had updated Mr. Ornstein and said it's 100% off, that is what is getting reported on. I think this is very much, it's very smart from Chelsea here. They're not allowing the story to get away from them. They're not allowing Sevilla to kind of get the upper hand in terms of the media war, which happens in all these big negotiations. It was expected to happen in some quarters. We spoke about it yesterday morning. Do I think it's off completely and dead? No, not with the fact that Jules Kounde, how he has removed himself from the situation, the fact that he is still pushing for he's being respectful, but he's still pushing for the move. Most players are now respectful in their pursuits to leave their football clubs in case deals fall through. They don't want to have to, essentially, they don't have to face the crowd. They don't want to have to face their supporters should it all go wrong and they have to play there next year. And most don't want to kind of go out there and do that type of thing. Most don't want to go out there and have to do that, as it were. But when we look at the situation as it were, we know he wasn't in the matchday squad, didn't play at the weekend. So he's very much expecting this deal to go through and be done and dusted. So there's many more trials and tribulations in relation to this. I want your thoughts and your feelings. We're going to share the link now in the comment section for you to come on and have your say. Very important that fans get to have their say and not just listen to what everybody else is thinking and feeling. I've posted that link into the live comment section. If you want to phone up, give us a buzz. Some of your comments here. David says, morning, Terry. This can be the new Sancho deal. They will do it next summer for less. They couldn't. Look, Chelsea are not going to get mugged off here. And I know a lot of people will look at this and say, I thought the deal was going to happen. This is the thing with transfers. As I said all along, I've told everyone from day one, there was an agreement. I don't care whether it's verbal, on paper, carrier pigeon. There was an agreement for the player. That's now been reported as true. What you can't legislate for is a club trying to up the price at the 11th hour, and then what Chelsea are going to do in terms of their response. No one can legislate for that. And what we're seeing here is typical with it going to the wire. Now, Chelsea did show their hand by openly stating that they needed to sell people before they bought. And then they've waited. Sevilla didn't ask for this increase until the 11th hour, until the last moment. Jules Kounde is not even in Spain. He's expecting to complete his move. So that's why I would say this. I agree with Simon Phillips this morning that this deal isn't done. Like some people, like it isn't done, it isn't over. I get some Chelsea fans are going to start to say, yeah, it's over now, it's finished, it's done. I think that's a bit more of a defense mechanism than anything else. But as we see here from the brilliant Simon Phillips, he says Chelsea agreed a fee, trying to sort out the extra bits of add-ons, as I report here. Athletic now saying they're trying to add on 13 million on top of the agreed fee, which was verbally agreed. Talk about moving the goalpost. Not dead yet, though, but Chelsea stand firm. I mean, this one literally could go down to the last moments of the transfer window. There's no doubt. Are Chelsea want to buy the EPO as usual? Are you saying Chelsea trying to buy the league? Chelsea aren't trying to buy the league. Chelsea are trying to buy quality players that enable them to win the league. It's been done by football teams all the time. Ornstein is the man for all English football news, and he's been backed by Chelsea's athletic reporter, so he's not lying. Absolutely no claims at all that he's not lying. No claims at all that he's not. Everything that Ornstein has said is pretty much bang on. As far as when you read all the other reports and you put it together, Ornstein is right. But he hasn't said it's completely off. He says currently off. Be very mindful of what the words mean, currently off. That means Chelsea might say, all right, we'll give you 5 million extra, and Sevilla say yes, then it's back on again. It's not off. It's not dead in the water. It's currently off because Chelsea have said we're not paying the extra 13 million. Sevilla said, well, we're not going to budge then. There will be further conversations. There is no doubt about it. There will be further conversations in relation to this. Stuart said Fabrizio hasn't tweeted this, so there's no need to panic as of now. And that's the great thing about it. Everyone's going to have a different view and everybody's going to have a different opinion in relation to this. Stop hiding, Chelsea fans, is what Chelsea are a dead club has got to say here. I don't quite get that. The comment here from Twitter. Morning, Terry. Any update regarding Saul Niguez to Chelsea? Yes, there is. We'll talk about that now as well. There's a number of reports flying around this morning, and here's one that I read earlier. The headline reads, Chelsea forcing Saul Niguez transfer with Marina locked in late negotiations. It says Chelsea are trying to force through the signing of the Real Madrid star Saul Niguez. It has been claimed Marina is in charge of the transfer business over at Stamford Bridge and is not content with the arrival. So not claims she's in charge of the transfer work, claims that she's not happy with just the arrival of Lukaku from Inter, and the Blues are looking to bolster their ranks. It's been a positive start to the Premier League for Chelsea, who are aiming to win the title this year. Blah, 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 blah. We don't need to read any of that. It says Chelsea have already established themselves as leading contenders for the Premier League title, but want to bolster their squad further. Goes on to say that Fabrizio Romano has claimed negotiations with Atletico Madrid are ongoing as Chelsea look to force the deal through. Other reports suggest that Chelsea are currently leading the race to land the player, with negotiations going late into the night on Sunday ahead of the transfer deadline on Tuesday. So I guess there's reports here stating that this deal is still on, this deal is still alive, Chelsea is still working hard for it, and I'm not surprised to read that. I did also see some comments actually from Simon Phillips that he put out. I think he put some quotes out in relation to the situation with Saul Niguez. I'm just looking for these here. This was it here from Diego Simeone, where he said, sorry, that's the wrong tweet from Simon Phillips. I've got him up on two different pages. Let me scroll back down. I'll find it here. It was here somewhere. There it is. Here's the quote from him, where he says, we talked to him. I told him what I think and feel. There's not much else. Between now and Tuesday, we'll see. We know that anything can happen in football. That was Diego Simeone's kind of update and thoughts. It isn't done. It isn't dusted. It isn't over. It isn't dead. Again, it's just in a tender negotiation spot right now. Chelsea do not want to have an obligation to buy. Atletico Madrid want an obligation to buy. Atletico Madrid are waiting to see if anybody else comes in for Saul Niguez in the 11th hour. That could happen. It's a risky game by both. It's a risky game by both. But it isn't overtly risky for Chelsea. Chelsea don't want him with an obligation to buy. They don't want the deal with an obligation to buy as it stands right now. It is Atletico that are taking the risk because they may end up they want to remove the player. Regardless of what Diego Simeone says, the club want to remove the player. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see kind of how that pans out in the next 24 hours or so. Current world and European champions are dead, is what Cole P has got to say. Chonbei says Sevilla try to milk the sugar daddy and also truly believe CR7 will score more goals than that fraud Lukaku. Even though I hate it, United will win the Premier League. A lot of anger this morning from Chonbei, who's a Liverpool fan. Very, very upset, of course. Very, very upset, of course, this morning. Well, I say very upset, of course. I'm not so sure. Where's this hatred for Chelsea this morning? I don't quite get where it has come from right now. I don't quite get it. We're going to go to your calls very soon. The link is pinned to the live comment section as well. And by the way, some breaking news this morning, Man United fans, for you. Cristiano Ronaldo has completed his medical at Manchester United. We all knew he was going to be back, but it is becoming more and more certified as we speak. Medical done. Oh, in 2 weeks' time when he comes back and plays again, it is going to be beautiful. My son, I spoke to my 6-year-old boy last night, and I've got a picture of Ronnie up there. You can see right by my thumb on the wall. And every time my son's been in my office, he's always like, Daddy, who's that? Who's that? He knows it's the Man United kid, but he's like, who's that? And I'm like, that's Ronnie, like Cristiano Ronaldo. And I showed him videos, and he goes, I love him. He's great. He's his favorite player on FIFA. And he rung me. He's like, Daddy, he's so excited. He goes, he just said, Ronnie's coming home. He says, your Ronnie's coming home. I always call him my Ronnie. I'm a bit weird like that. So yeah, very, very happy about that indeed. Medical, passed, done, and dusted. Viewers, do me a big favor and smash the like button this morning, please. Only on 105 likes. What's going on? Smash that like button right now. Share this stream across your social. I know it isn't the news Chelsea fans want. So don't ignore it. Get involved. Have your conversation. I'm surprised that he didn't pull out after yesterday. Look, listen, Man United were poor yesterday. Very, very poor yesterday. But we got the 3 points, and that is all that really matters at this stage. It's all that matters at this stage of the season. That's all that matters at this stage of the campaign. We're going to go to your calls now, though. First up, Matt is on the line. Matt is a big Chelsea fan. If you want to phone up, as I've said, the link is pinned to our live comment section. You must have something to say on this. Let's see. I've got Edward backstage, Pav backstage as well. But Matt is here with us this morning. Smash the like and share button. Retweet if you're watching on Twitter. Let's go. Morning, Matt. What are you here to say, my friend?
Well, good evening from Australia, Terry. Appreciate having me on. And I know you're not going to like this, but I do think Koundé is a done deal, and I say that very confidently because I feel like this is just obviously Sevilla milking it. Obviously, they know, as you said, he's not even in Spain. He's already going to his home in London. So, I mean, I feel like it's a done deal. I think again, Sevilla's milking it, possibly trying to get more. And I think people being mad at Chelsea for buying the league and this, we've only spent, if we sign Koundé right now, we'll only spend 30 million if the deal is 60 million. So we're making fantastic signings, and that's due to our director of transfers, Marina. I'm not going to say her last name because I do not know how to pronounce it. She's a Russian, obviously, businesswoman. She's done fantastic. We've had a fantastic transfer window, and he's going to come and implement in the squad perfectly. And I personally think this is a done deal. And now to Saul. Saul's going to be a deadline day signing him alone, in my opinion. I think it's a perfect signing, exactly what we need, a fourth midfielder to come in, show that experience, be a backup for Kante or Jorginho, and play in those rotational squads because we have 60 games. A lot of rivals do not know we have 60 games. So I think fantastic transfer window from Chelsea.
Mate, listen, and do you know what? I like your confidence on that. As a fan, I like your confidence on that because I think the natural default from supporters when a deal hits I want to say when a deal hits a snag, when a deal hits a problem, is to go straight to the worst case scenario. Yeah, I think it's off now, and then to act surprised if it happens. I look at this situation. I cannot imagine Chelsea scouting and looking at this player for 2 years, getting a verbal agreement in place, the player leaving Spain and sitting in Paris waiting to complete the transfer, doing all these things just to go, and not at least not to try and resolve the situation as it stands right now. Sevilla,
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Sevilla. I agree. Sevilla look like to me like they're trying to do a bit of a Fagan. They're trying to do. Liverpool are brilliant at this. Liverpool always. It's why the Fekir deal fell through. They literally got it to almost dried ink, and then they tried to lower the price, and then Leon said no, and it all went. This is quite normal. I think in the next 2 or 3 hours, we are going to get an update. We are going to get an update that says, breakthrough found, happy medium. That's what they're going to find here. I don't think either are going to crack. I think there'll be a happy medium found in the middle and some kind of add-on clause put in place or just something along those lines, mate.
Yeah. I just want to confirm as well that there's another reason why he's possibly coming. A guy named Tiggy Vids. He does videos for Chelsea. He does announcement videos for Chelsea, and he has legally confirmed that he is doing a video for Koundé's welcoming. So, I don't see why it's not done. Again, they're just milking it, but it's just normal to see them leaving their club and moving to London. It's just how the transfer window works. You're going to be seeing these roughs and bumps, but at the end of the day, it's going to work out.
No, mate, I agree. I agree. It's going to be an interesting next few days. Matt, thank you for coming on and having your say. Top man. I've just seen that Jake Paul beat Tyron Woodley. Gee, did he beat him on points? Jeez. But he needs to fight a boxer next. He's got to fight a proper boxer next, in my opinion. He's beating these MMA stars. But yeah, there we go. I can't believe he beat him. But he's got to fight a boxer. He's fighting MMA guys at boxing. He needs to fight a boxer, in my opinion. But there we go. Hang on. Anyway, we move forward now. Let's go to the super chat here. I'm just reading something. Terry, the happy man, congratulations, bro. You deserve happiness because you helped me go through the difficult pandemic and I am emotionally drained. I hear you, bro. Listen, and you're allowed to give stick to rival fans. That's football. That's what it's all about. So you're legitimately you're allowed to do that. You know what I mean? You're legitimately allowed to do that. So I wouldn't let it stress you too much. But there we go. Next caller is going to be Pav. Also have a breaking news this morning as well. You're absolutely right. Edwards to leave Liverpool. I did read that this morning. It isn't one of the main stories we're covering, but yeah, I read that he's on his way. So there we go. Pav's on the show with me now. What are you saying, Pav?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just on that Edwards thing, I saw a tweet from a Liverpool fan saying, "Why do we need a sporting director when we have no money anyway?" So, yeah, I don't know, something going on with Liverpool because his contract's coming to an end. He don't want to stay there. Yeah, I said a couple of weeks ago that if it comes down to the last week and Liverpool haven't made any signings, they need to start worrying. But these fans seem to think that their owners are God's gift and they can't do anything wrong. But yeah, that their team could be in trouble. A few injuries here and there, and you're back to like what happened last year. But on Koundé, do you know what the fee is around anyway for this guy? Because I've not actually seen the fee unless I've like missed out on it all.
So the verbal agreed fee was in the region of around 42 to 45 million pounds.
Oh, so they're trying to get it up to about 60.
Yeah.
I don't know. They'll probably find a middle ground because isn't Koundé in Paris or something? Sevilla told him that he can go. Why would a club tell someone to go to your native country to wait for the transfer to go through? It makes no sense. I kind of think it will go through. Like I said, they'll probably find a middle ground. Otherwise, it's kind of embarrassing for both parties. But yeah, I think it will go through. On the Saul Niguez, I have a little feeling, just in my opinion, that I don't think he's going to leave Atletico. I think that deal for Saul will be done to another club, maybe in January, because I think it's been left too late. I'm not really seeing any movement on it, like from any of the top journalists. Like a guy who's on that much wages, he has like a big like contract, things like that. It's like, how can you get that done in one day?
Look, what I would say is this: when it comes to those kind of deals, that element is all being discussed. In terms of all the personal term elements of being, this is what normally happens with deals. And again, we don't get enough education on this from the main journalists as such, or the main outlets. But essentially, all of that is being done. That work gets done behind the scenes via the intermediaries, especially when it gets close to deadlines. They do that work as a preemptive strike. The personal term elements for Saul Niguez to a number of clubs are not issues. Barcelona and Saul Niguez have agreed on personal terms in relation to, this is what we would offer you. Would you accept? Yes. So whether it's no problem or agreed, it is where it is. Chelsea are in the same situation. The reason there's nothing to update on with Saul Niguez is because Atletico want an obligation to buy, and no club that's been in talks has been willing to have the obligation to buy in place yet. Man United could be the turning point here if Paul Pogba leaves. If Paul Pogba leaves, it's anticipated that Man United would do the loan move with an obligation to buy Saul Niguez. However, they may still try to push. That's if Chelsea are close to getting him. If Chelsea pull out of this deal, Man United might still go back in again and say, well, no, we just want an option to buy. And then it becomes down to whether or not Atletico Madrid are willing to crumble on it. Atletico Madrid want to get rid of him. So it's one of those deals where it can happen in the next 24 hours or so. All the legality elements won't be too much of a problem. We always see these deals go through. There's always deals that go through last minute. But there's been no major movement on it at this moment in time.
In your opinion, just on Man United, while we're just you're talking about it, what do you think? Do you think we're going to look for a DM? Because what I saw yesterday with Fred, that man got dragged around on that pitch by Traore like he's a piece of bone. Like, I have never seen someone get bullied like that since I was in school. Like, the amount of times this guy got pushed to the floor, like, why are you trying to grab onto him when you know this guy baby oils his arms up and you're trying to pull him down and you're making yourself look like a fool? I couldn't believe what I was watching yesterday with Fred. Like, I'm begging God, I beg we get a DM in time, because what I saw scares me, watching Fred and what was happening on that pitch. Like, is there anything that you might know if we're looking at anything?
Man United are looking at three midfielders, Saul Niguez being one of them. Ruben Neves is another, and the Camavinga deal is there. It's all relating to whether or not Manchester United can move players on, and it's expected that Jesse Lingard could move, but that deal needs to get done sooner rather. Man United are not going to invest any more money into players until somebody leaves. And I mean, everyone was shocked to see the Ronaldo situation happen the way that it did. But trust me when I tell you, there is a deal gone on behind the scenes there with from a commercial basis to help bring Cristiano Ronaldo in. The biggest cost for him is going to be the wages, and a lot of that is going to be absorbed via image rights as opposed to direct PAYE salary for the player. And we can increase the image rights because you can literally reach out to. Do you wonder how the industry works in certain ways? So a friend of mine runs a YouTube channel, and he spoke to an agency a few weeks ago, and he's going to be hopefully landing this interview with the top Premier League player. To do the interview, the charge for his YouTube company to get the player, his entourage down, the time, everything all in, it's going to cost £30,000 to do the interview and to make the content. However, he just went out and literally within like a 12-hour period, his commercial team landed a sponsor of 50 grand to sponsor the show. So they made a 20 grand profit, and that money pays to make the show, if that makes sense, right? So they've now outsourced the production to an outsourced company that have charged them to make it, and it's all done. That's how these things work. So if you want to bring Ronaldo in, you reach out to commercial partners and say, listen, we're going to get Ronaldo holding your bottle of wine, sitting in your car, sharing a link. Like today, Cristiano Ronaldo's Twitter account pushed out something for LiveScore. Do you know how much LiveScore have to pay Ronaldo to be their ambassador? Like, you literally, the thing got something like 11,000 likes in about 10 minutes. Like, that's worth the money. So that's why Man United can afford the Ronaldo deal. It's different gravy to anybody else. But any other signings coming into the club, they're not going to happen, Pav, in my opinion, without some one or two people leaving first.
Yeah, I did see Daniel James, because Amad Diallo's injured now, isn't he? So looks like he'll be staying with us till January. But the Dan James thing, I did see before a couple of weeks ago to you that he's useful in certain games, but then certain games are probably no more than maybe 4 or 5 in a season. That he does wear down players' defences by running, but his output isn't great. And Jesse Lingard, for his sake, you want to stay in that England squad, you need to be playing week in, week out somewhere, because come next year to the World Cup, you ain't going to get picked again if you're not playing regularly. So
Lingard needs to move. Dan James needs to move. They need to move. They're not going to get regular game time with the plethora of talent. You've got to remember, Sancho's not even settled yet. Rashford's coming back. Ronaldo's now here. They're not getting game time. Even with Ahmad, like Ahmad needs to go out on loan somewhere. And while Ahmad needs game time, but he needs to bulk up at the same time. Like if Ahmad doesn't come back 5-6 pounds heavy with muscle, he's going to struggle. Every Premier League club that looked at him gave the same feedback to Man United. He's got the technical ability, but he doesn't have the physicality for the league yet. And I know some football fans get really triggered when we say that certain players don't have the physicality to play in the league. But the fact that so many professionals tell us this, fan opinion becomes void when professionals all repeat the same thing. Like you've got top clubs, like managers of clubs that we respect are like, doesn't have the physicality, can't do it. Do you know what I mean? The irony in it is, like, if more players had, if you literally could like, take a little bit of the strength from Dama Traore and give it to someone like Ahmad would be a world beater. And you even look at Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is prime example of this. Ronaldo only become a world beater at Man United when he bulked up, when he bolstered up, when he became stronger, when he became bigger, when he got the muscle. Once he got that size once he got the size, he was unstoppable. And that's what Ahmad's going to need to do. Pab, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Top man. Thank you. Let's go to a few more of these comments coming through. Very sad that they are benching the F out of Donny. I hear you. I want to see Donny get some game time. I want to see him get his chances. I miss the good old days when you used to have Claude let him RIP and Ty, especially when Ty refused to answer the callers' questions. They called in. Listen, man, those are great shows with Ty and Claude back in the Fan Park Live days. They were great days indeed. Sancho flop is what's being said here. Greenwood over Sancho. I mean, that doesn't trigger me. I had someone actually message me the other day, with laughing emojis, saying, ha, 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 how do you feel Greenwood's better than Rashford? Really happy. Like, if every player we buy in an attacking position from now on in is better than Rashford, that's only good news for Man United. I don't get it. It's only good news. It's the best news. It's amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, who's my favorite boxer right now? I'm like torn between AJ and Fury, but I like British boxing. Someone said, Terry, There's a new heavyweight coming through. He's going to be better than both. Ha ha ha. I'm going to celebrate because that means we've got an even better boxer. I don't get the banter. It's dead banter, bro. DB. Desperately need a DM. Fred versus Adama was like Bambi up against a bull. Do you know what's interesting now about Traore? What I will say is on the last 2 or 3 times we've played Wolves, he didn't do that. Yesterday, he just felt like, I don't know what the word for it is. I think we were shell shocked by the speed and intensity of Wolves in the opening sort of 10, 15 minutes of the game, and it took us time to recover. But I do hear you. Look, Fred for me is a weak link. McTominay gets a lot of crap, but McTominay is better than him. I don't think McTominay would have been dominated in the same way. He's stronger. I don't know if he's quicker, but McTominay is better than him. He just is. However, we do need better than that. But we're not up against Adama Traore every day. So I hear you completely. We're not up against him every single day, but thank you for that super chat, my friend. Keep those super chats coming, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you've why are the likes so low today? Is it a thing? An honest question. Is it like you only like videos where you enjoy the premise of the content? So if it was Jules Kounde deal complete, would you all hit the like button more? Come on, no echo chambers here. Support the Football Terrace in our endeavors, bringing you up to date, giving you a chance to have your say. That's what we're here for, my friends. 37-year-old grandpa will not help you against a mastermind like Tuchel. Listen, I think Ronaldo's going to do well. Terry, what is Dean saying about any incomings at Arsenal? I actually messaged Dean today for some updates, and we're getting that. Pete O'Rourke is going to be on with us tomorrow. Remember, big deadline day show tomorrow. I'm saying 7 p.m., but it might start a little bit earlier tomorrow. We'll be live throughout the course of the day tomorrow, going through deals, keeping you updated, but of course, giving you your chance to have your say as well. You know, a lot of people will go live and sit there and talk to you for hours. We will give you the chance to come on and talk. Another super chat here says, how the F are people comparing Greenwood with Sancho because they play different positions? Sancho is a baller and he is going to be the new Salah in the league. Yeah, Sancho just could take a little bit of time. But that's how the world's gone now. We want to call rivals players flops after 2 or 3 games. It's just how it is. And it's more about Man United fans being strong. It's more about Man United fans having a backbone and being able to take it on the chin. Why aren't United going for anybody like, I can't pronounce those names. I don't know who they are, if I'm being honest with you. As in, I swear I've seen those names before, but I see a lot of names battered about. Who is this lad? I'm just looking at this young man now. Who's he play for Roma? The Roma midfielder. Diawara. I don't know. I don't know why we're not going for him. I literally don't know. My European knowledge, don't ever claim to be an encyclopedia, does not run that deep. In relation to give you an honest answer about how good these players are. I can see a lot of compilation videos here when I search his name of why Arsenal should sign him. The fact that Arsenal fans want him makes me think we shouldn't touch him. Just saying there. Terry, I tagged you on Twitter. Please check it. I'll go and check my Twitter account now. What's your name though? Is it? I can't see any tags. I can't see any tags, bro. Is Mustafa Muhammad your username though, or do you use a different Twitter name? If you use a different Twitter name, I can't see it. If I can't see it, I can't check it, bro. Next, we've got Abs to come on the show. KJ to join me in a few moments, but make sure you go and follow my Twitter account, people. It's at Terry Flewers. I should actually put my personal one in the link in the description below. I always put the business one in there. I've actually updated the description below, so refresh your stream. But go and check out my Twitter account now. Go and give it a follow at Terry Flewers. I want to push past the 40,000 follower mark very, very soon. So go and get that done for us right now, ladies and gentlemen. Go and give us a follow over there. Next on the show, Mansour Ahmed is here. Big Liverpool news today that Martin Edwards is leaving. I haven't looked into why yet. I've only seen the headline, so I can't speculate on it. But Mansour's here with us now. What are you here to say, buddy? Morning, mate. What do you want to say?
Morning, Terry. I didn't hear that news actually, so that's quite a first one to hear. It's not a good start to the bank holiday if that's the case, but yeah, I was going to actually talk about Saul Niguez, but
Go for it.
yeah,
Go for
yeah. So with Saul Niguez, I feel quite disappointed because he is a very talented player, and it just seems like no team is really going out to buy him to. Because for me, Saul Niguez would be a player who, in any team, would add a steal in that midfield. And I looked at his injury record, and his injury record isn't that bad. I mean, he's missed a couple of games there and then last season, but overall, I just don't understand what's stopping teams from getting him. I mean, Liverpool, I know we're broke. I mean, unless we sell some players, we're not going to buy him. And Chelsea, for some reason, it's not capturing him as quick enough. So, unless you can tell me, Terry, I'm not really 100% sure as to why Saul Niguez not being gotten at quickly.
money. He's on £300,000. So you got to look at it this way: he's on £300,000 a week. That's why Liverpool haven't signed him. I mean, James Pearce pretty much said it, but he said it in a much nicer way. And what I've seen from a lot of positive Liverpool fans is Saul Niguez wanted what was the word they all use? It was something like extraordinary wages or unrealistic wages. No, he wanted to be paid what he's currently on. So Liverpool weren't willing to pay it. Chelsea are willing to pay close to that. Man United are willing to pay close to that, but they want him on loan, and they want him on loan with a non-obligation to buy because he isn't on the top of their priority list as a player. It's almost a secondary option. Chelsea want this perfect scenario where come next summer, they have the choice between Tchouaméni, Saul Niguez, and Declan Rice. If they get Saul Niguez on a permanent deal at £250,000 per week, which is about what it'll be on, maybe a little bit less salary-wise, it limits them next year to who they can then go after and sign. And Declan Rice is the number one long-term target. Liverpool, it's purely because you're not willing to pay the money. Man United, it's because we don't know what's happening with the Paul Pogba situation right now. Plus, so if Pogba leaves now, we'll get him now. If Pogba stays for this season, we'll look at Saul Niguez next year. That's kind of how it is as far as I can see. Maybe something will change if Lingard and Dan James go, because I don't see us signing more advanced players. We don't need to sign any more attackers. That's why we're getting rid of them. So it may open up options in that midfield area. I think where Man United fans will be frustrated is if we got rid of Dan James, if we got rid of Lingard, and if we got rid of Phil Jones today, and then we went and bought just Kieran Trippier, I know that's going to trigger Man United fans so much because like, where's the midfielder? But yeah, I mean, are you worried about Liverpool's season because you haven't bought anybody in?
I am, Terry. I mean, I've always said it that the squad that we have is good enough to get a top four, but as you know that we've competed for the leagues and we won trophies in the past season. You have to improve on that because we're not just a one club. See, we got a rich history of winning trophies, and we need to continue that on. Especially when Klopp has probably said that he's going to leave at the end of 2024. I don't see him extending that contract, so we need to utilize him and build up on the squad as well because. The thing is, I know for a fact, I know they're saying, oh, there's going to be a big summer next summer. They ain't going to have a big summer next summer because FSG are just always like that. They're just going to buy one or two players and they're going to say, oh, we had a summer, but they haven't. I am worried, Terry, that we're not going to be in the competitive end. We should get top four, but we're just not going to be in the competitive end. And that's kind of frustrating me because you want to see a team build and be successful. You don't want that dip, 3 years of building and then rise up again. I just don't like that, if I'm honest with you.
No, I hear you. And of course, that the Basuma deal as an example, being off isn't going to help anybody or then it's something I was never on. That's the bit that would legitimately trigger me as a Liverpool fan is that every time you're linked to a player and it doesn't come off, straight away the reports are, but it was never on. It honestly bothers me to my core. It bothers me that all those deals are never, ever, ever on when they don't come off. And it's sort of, yeah, of course. Listen, Monster, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Abs is on next. Then KJ's joining me. Super chat here from Shane. Says, Fred puts out loads of fires, but he starts loads as well. I don't know why Ollie can't see what we see. I think Ollie does see it. Matic is an example. Matic, better on the ball, better reader of the game, but would get run through. Scott McTominay is better than all of them. I think when you weigh up all the pros and cons for all the players, Scott McTominay outweighs them all. But even he isn't of the level that we need. I think we can still get through this season and do very, very well without a CDM. I do. But I understand that if we got a Ruben Neves holding that midfield, levels could be at play. So I do understand it from both. I'm not someone who thinks write the season off because we haven't got one. I think that's too hyperbolic and over the top. But would it improve us? Yes. But on Fred, you're right. He creates too many problems. Both their counterattack, two big counterattacks I nearly scored from yesterday in the opening 10 minutes were because of Fred. You know, that great goal line clearance from AWB. It shouldn't even been a proper counterattack. The pass for the counterattack was so bad, it missed the pass forward to set the counterattack up, missed the Wolves players by about 30 yards. But Fred's bad touch played it to them. Fred played a pass for the first counterattack that was about 15 yards away from where it was meant to go. Awful. And it was those two counterattacks that set the tone. And if he hadn't made those mistakes and those counterattacks hadn't have happened, it could have been a different game. It gave Wolves that confidence to keep driving at us. And Fred, his kryptonite is controlling and operating on that ball, especially in his own half. He makes me very nervous. Man like CFC Gem says, Koundé don't want Sevilla. Fact that they are asking Chelsea for an extra 15 million, I think will come to an agreement for less. Koundé will continue to push Sevilla to accept the offer. He'll be on that phone in his hotel room in Paris, pushing for it, no doubt about it whatsoever. Fred got his Brazilian passport from a cereal box. Do you know what's really interesting? In the summer, so many Ollie outers were telling us how good Fred is because of what he was doing at Copa America. It's really interesting, really, because I didn't check out anything that Ollie outers had to say yesterday in terms of their Twitter accounts. I normally go and have a look. I just didn't bother yesterday. I finished my stream and had a lovely evening off. As it is Freya's birthday today. She's not very well, though, so we're not going to do too much today. But we did presents this morning. She got too much stuff again. But yeah, we're going to go to a farm a little bit later. Have a nice day. But I had a little evening just wrapping presents, doing whatever, getting ready. And I didn't check any of it out. I got sent a few things this morning, though. People like DM me other people's tweets. I don't quite know why people do it, but they do. And it was just sort of like no criticism yesterday of some of our worst performance. No criticism of Pogba in the first half. No criticism of Fred, really. No criticism of Martial and didn't come on. It was the same usual targets and usual things they're saying. And that's my problem with this whole conversation is there's no balance to it. I really like Fred. I love Paul Pogba. But they were dead awful yesterday in that middle. And people just need to be honest about these things. There's no harm in it. There's no harm in being honest. Just tuned in, Terry. Looks like Chelsea might end up bottling the transfer. Also forgot to say this yesterday, but any other manager instead of Ollie and people would not be as salty or critical. Oh, I agree. I mean, Nuno got called a masterclass when Nuno did it. I think if Tuchel had a game next week where his team were outworked, outrun, I'm not saying they would be, but if it happened and they pulled it off, it'd be called championship winning form. It's just that, but I understand why people do it with Ollie because nobody believes Ollie can win. So if Ollie was to win a major trophy, performances like yesterday would stop people from overtly criticizing it. I also understand that I said it, performing like that yesterday isn't sustainable. But do I think we're going to perform like that every week? I don't. I don't think we will because we haven't performed like that every single week for the past getting towards 18 months. You know, the win percentage in the last 18 months has been over 60%. We can't perform like that every week and get away with it. It's impossible, right? You know, we've got the best unbeaten, we've got the best away record in the history of the Premier League. So it's sustainable to a point, but we need to win trophies at the end of it. And I think if Ollie can win trophies, it will definitely change the way people view performances like yesterday, in my opinion. I'm going to go to Abs in just a moment here. Comment here says, come on, United fans. You guys used to win the title with Fletcher and O'Shea. Mac and Fred are not worse than them. If I'm honest with you, bro, Fred might be. Fred under pressure is. Fred under pressure melts. But honestly, Fred's like an ice cube on a radiator when he's under pressure. Melts so quickly. Honestly, you put that, it don't work. He just melts. When teams aren't pressing us, Fred's great. When Fred's being the aggressor, he's great. As soon as you put it on Fred, you know that expression, what do you have in life? Do you have fight or flight? Fred has flight. When the going gets tough, for me, Fred bottles it. He doesn't like it. In fairness, like Paul Pogba, when he's deeper and he gets pressed, isn't great. Pogba for me is a one-touch, two-touch player, and he's amazing. When he starts taking 3 or 4 touches, that's when I get worried. Now he doesn't make mistakes. His decision-making when he's deeper in Paul Pogba in the Premier League leaves a lot to be desired at times. Take 2, 3, 4 touches, slows the play down too much. Some of his one-touch passing yesterday nearly created 2 or 3 goals for us. And that's a decision-making issue there from Pogba. Fred, though, put a bit of pressure on him. As I said, it's like putting an ice cube on a radiator. Melts. Absolute melts. Let's do a few more of these comments here. Fred's like a squirrel trying to cross a street. It's funny you say that. I've got all these squirrels in my garden at the minute taking nuts. There's a tree with these nuts in it, right, at the back of my garden. They keep burying the damn nuts digging my lawn up. There's literally about 5 of them out there right now. Can't believe it. Rich coming from you, gaming mad. Oh, you're not talking to me, you're talking to somebody else. I didn't understand it. That's the username, gaming mad. I've already had that super chat there. We did have another super chat. And I can't find it. It's from Pav. Where's Pav's super chat gone? Hang on a minute. Where's it gone? There it is. Oh, I've already had it. There it is. I already read it out. My brain's gone. Right. Abs is now on the show with me, ladies and gentlemen. Then KJ is joining us. It's Abs, not Ab. There's an Ab backstage and an Abs. It's going to be Abs on first, a Chelsea fan. Hit the like and share button. Let's go. Yes, Abs. What do you want to say, bro?
All right. Sorry, my throat's a bit clogged. But yeah, so first things first, the whole Adama Traore thing, Jesus Christ, that guy is literally just the paella Jermaine Pennant on roids, bare pace and power merchant. The fact that Fred got spun by him yesterday just shows how crap Fred is. But now on to more serious things. You see what it is with what's his name? You see what it is with Saul? If Ati aren't gonna budge and say you have to have an option to buy with it, leave it at. Doesn't matter. Move on. Because for me, Tchouaméni is a much better player. I think, is a bit more athletic than Saul. I think his footballing IQ is better. Yeah, he doesn't have as much experience, but he, in my opinion, will end up being better by the end of his career. And he's also a lot younger. He's cheaper and someone we can actually invest in. So why not just leave out Saul? Because there's multiple players. He's not like a once in a generation type midfielder. He's just a very good DM. But there's multiple people out there who are as good, if not better than him. So just move on, leave it out.
Yeah, I mean, you think Tchouaméni is got a better footballing IQ than Saul Niguez?
Well, not now, obviously, but I think Tchouaméni in the future will be better. And I think if we invest in him now, based on the fact he's probably going to end up being cheaper than Saul, then why not go get him? I think Tchouaméni's wavy from the few times I've seen him. I'm not going to act like I watch him regularly because I don't. Same with Saul. I don't watch him regularly either. But when I've seen both of them play in the few times I have, I can see that one clearly has a brighter future. Yes, he's a bit more raw, but I think he'd be a better investment. Whereas Saul would be someone to bring in a bit more stability. But then on the flip side, I can also see why Chelsea fans would rather Saul over Tchouaméni, because we've already got someone who's in that same age bracket as Tchouaméni in Billy Gilmore, who's out on loan at Norwich. And they'd be asking, what's the point of bringing in Tchouaméni if we already have Billy Gilmore but we loaned him out? So from that perspective, I can get why people would say we should go get Saul. But in my opinion, we shouldn't have to break our backs to sign one player who is very good, don't get me wrong, but is not the be-all and end-all, if we're being perfectly honest.
There we go. Abs say, ladies and gentlemen, what do you make of that comment there? Top man, thanks for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. We have some breaking news before KJ comes on. Man City fans, this is for you. Ruben Diaz has signed a new contract at Manchester United until 2027. I love here our transfer news live. Put the source as Man City. It's brilliant. There he is. That's your big transfer news from Man City. No new striker, no new goal scorer. But do you need one after winning 5-0 3 times on the bounce? Ruben Diaz signs a new deal. Signs a new deal at Manchester City after being there for just 1 year. I know Sky Sports were first on this morning, but also just an update from Fabrizio Romano. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo has completed his medical. The contract is signed as a deal until 2023. Visa process started. Visa will not be a problem. It's Christy. Can you imagine? Imagine Boris Johnson saying no to Cristiano Ronaldo coming to England? Priti Patel was like, "Nah, he ain't coming." Why? Turns out she's a City fan. It's not going to happen. Ronaldo lived there for 5. He's probably got a claim because of how long he lived there to have a British passport anyway. So just listen, he can be British, he can be English, get him play for England. Do you know what I mean? Be great. There he is. But his medical is done, dusted, and over the proverbial line. KJ is joining me now. Morning, mate. How are you?
Yeah, this whole McTominay is better than Fred and Matic. It can't run, bruv. To me, they're all the same thing. For whatever reason, they all have the weaknesses that basically balance each other out. So that's why I'm not having this McTominay is better than Fred and Matic. No. They're all the same. They basically should fusion dance and become one person, and then we were sorted.
I hear you on that. They all have their flaws. However, Fred is the weakest link because he loses the ball in dangerous positions at the edge of his box more often than the others, and that's the big panic for me.
Yeah,
I'm not claiming McTominay is like the guy, but we've missed him in his last 2 games. That's who we've missed. We miss him in the middle. What we need is somebody that's got all the good attributes of him, right? And all the good attributes of McTominay, but he's just better at balling, i.e. Ruben Neves. It literally was. It's just there you go. But you know, I do hear you, bruv. Like I'm not content with any of them. I'm just saying McTominay is. I'm basically doing one of my things I hate the most. Actually, I'm doing a micro penis competition. You know what I mean? All 3 are tiny. It's just one extra couple of centimeters, but there's no point celebrating it because none of them are impressing anybody. That's all I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying here.
Anyway,
Anyway, we digress. We digress.
Yeah,
So, pieces now.
Man United, we might have a busy end to the window, hopefully, selling a few players, hopefully buying a midfielder who actually can retain the ball and not get absolutely bodied by flipping the best NFL player to ever play in the Premier League in Adama Traore. Like we need reinforcements in that midfield. It's clear to see for everyone. It's been 2 games in a row now where the midfield has been the weakest point, and it doesn't matter who's in there. If it's Fred and Matic, Fred and Pogba, Fred and McTominay at times, we have a massive issue there. If we can sell Dan James, because it would make sense for him to go. If we can sell Lingard, because it makes sense, then I think we should use those 2 spots that we've gained to bring in one midfielder at least. Rumors of Martial leaving, no surprise. I don't know what's up with him. Like, he was okay when he came on. He had some good moments, but nothing to say, rah, he's back, you know? So, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. And then the mad deal, I'm sad for him because he got injured, and therefore he's no longer going out on loan. Hopefully, maybe he recovers quick enough and gets some game time if Daniel James leaves. I don't know, but yeah, man, it's busy moments for Man United coming up, and hopefully we actually utilize this time and get things done. On Liverpool, though, yo, what happened to this whole Edwards masterclass business? Where is that? I told you this FSG ownership is the thing holding them back, because even my man's like, I've had enough. Like, I cannot work under these conditions because these days are dead. You know what I mean? They're doing nothing in the transfer window. Them man don't care. So, Liverpool fans, please do the right thing. And if you want your club to be successful again, protest the thing. Stop living in delusion land. Stop living in communist Merseyside and break out of your shackles, break out of your chains and your bondage when it comes to this ownership, bro. Like,
do you know what they need? They need that scene, bro. They need that scene, right? You mentioned shackles. Remember that scene from Django? Do you know what I mean? Where they get where you know the early stages where I can't remember the character's name, but the German dude turns up and gets Django out, and then the way they leave, right? That's exactly what they need to do. They need to break out of it. They need to move on and roll on with their lives, because it isn't horrible or disrespectful to your club to say, I'm disappointed. All we're looking for is honesty, right? For a Liverpool, like, it's not, I'm getting my words messed up here because I'm frustrated. I just want to hear Liverpool fans say, I'm disappointed with our window. The fact that so many won't say it, they just, like, football terrorists Liverpool fans do. But outside of it, I literally watched a stream last night, about 10 minutes of a stream, where a Liverpool fan was like, trust me, it's all going to be fine. We're going to get it all sorted. And I'm sitting there thinking, there's 24 hours left. What do you mean it's all going to be fine? It's like, you're talking like there's 6 weeks to go. It is legitimately a madness to me. It's like, I'm not saying have a protest over it. I'm not saying
I am.
I'm not saying write off everything that's come before, but there is no Liverpool fan in. That's why, by the way, Liverpool fans have been very triggered by things that the likes of Jess have said, because they're like, Liverpool fans don't like non-Liverpool people stating facts about their club. They do not like it. It for whatever reason, it irks them. KJ, what will happen if Arsenal lose to Norwich? What do you think will happen, mate?
Meltdown will ensue. Arteta will still be in the job, though. Don't get it twisted. Them man ain't sacking him just yet. And also, it would be a fact that they would also be at the bottom of the Premier League with 0 points, potentially 0 goals scored, and potentially minus 10 goal difference. You know what I mean? So it'll just be very peak. It'll just be peak. What will happen? It will just be peak. That's what will happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it will be. Do you know what I think as well? On top of that as well, I kind of want it to happen, right? And again, not in a horrible way. People always think I'm being horrible here, because there's still this plethora and volume of Arsenal fans who are like, it's all going to be okay when we start playing the easier teams. And I'm like, why are you even settling for that? Pav here says, any chance of our game being moved, the 3 p.m. game? Listen, do you know what? It probably won't be, because Man United play on the Tuesday in the Champions League at you say the 6:15 kickoff?
No, it's the quarter to six.
Quarter to six, yeah. Pretty much same thing. So because Man United's game is so early on the Tuesday, it cannot be moved to the Sunday. They won't change the current television scheduled games. And because of the international break, it couldn't be moved to even I thought, what about Friday night? But some people are still playing international football on the Thursday, so it isn't going to happen. So, yeah, Ronaldo's first game will be a 3 o'clock game. I'm sure live stream, things like live stream football is going to be Google searched a lot by people on the internet. There's a comment here from Total Madness. Thank you for this brilliant donation to the channel. He says, Ronaldo will make United contenders, will add goals and that winning mentality. Liverpool will drop if in the next 2 seasons. There are too many players pushing 30 and very little in and around that 24 age mark. Is what Total Madness has got to. Listen, I don't even think what you're saying is cap. In relation to Liverpool, that the squad's getting older. The investment's got to start soon. You know, I thought this summer what we would see at Liverpool, legit, what I believed was you would see 3 Konates. So 3 players in the Konate ilk of 30 to 40 million pound players coming in. So I thought you would see maybe Konate, Basuma, and Daka. Those 3 players, as an example, could come in who are not the finished articles yet. All 3 could come in for 120 million pound combined-ish, give or take a few pounds either side. And you develop them over the next 12 to 18 months to replace some of your elder statesmen that are going to move on, that are going to go elsewhere. The fact that hasn't happened is worrying. Now, they could do that all next summer. But I just think it's wrong. I legitimately think they've gone the wrong way with this Liverpool, and it's going to bite. Like last summer, I think it's going to bite them in the backside. After minutes of reflection, I am more gassed about seeing Arsenal documentary than Ronaldo coming back. Meltdown will be real. Yeah, the Tancredi Palmari got us all yesterday by talking about how they're changing, that the filming is going to change and they're not going to be showing some of the early stuff. And I thought it was real, right? So I kind of went out on this sort of like, this is a disgrace rampage.
Yeah, I saw that.
Joke. But the reason I believed him is because they did that with Tottenham. We all expected to see the Poch problems, and they showed none of it. It basically started, they had like a big intro trailer, but it started with Jose as the manager. And I was disappointed because for me, if it's all or nothing, all access, for me, the club should be made to sign something. Like honestly, like the NFL ones I've seen, they show everything, or you think they're showing everything. I've read nothing that says they're cut out. Like there've been huge controversial moments that they've shown. I've watched like this Netflix thing I watched. Have you seen it? It's called Last Chance U.
Yeah.
And it like follows the ins and outs. I know it's a very different scenario, but it follows the ins and outs. It shows warts and all. These documentaries, for me, I'm not watching them anymore. They are PR spun BS to make the clubs look as good as possible. Every now and then a nugget or two comes out, but that's more on reflection. It's more because what we're seeing now, and we look back and go, that's why there was a problem. But they're not really showing us anything. They're not really giving us any insight to things that we really want to see. I want to know what I want to see dressing room footage after these 3 games. I want to see it. I want to hear it. But they're going to cut it out. And if they're cutting it out, I don't want to watch the show because it isn't real, bruv. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like basically you're making The Only Way is Arsenal. Or, do you get what I mean? It's not real. It's a reality show. And we know reality shows are not actually fucking real. They're fucking staged. So bollocks to it. I ain't watching it. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm serious. It's bullshit. Not surprised Edwards wanted out. Ridiculous what's going on at the club. The lack of funding provided by FSG is utterly scandalous. Is what
Scandalous.
Yeah, remember that song? Remember, was it what are they called? Alicia Dixon was part of their group. What was Alicia Dixon's band called? Mystique. Mystique, bruv. That song Scandalous was a tune, bruv. I love those ladies. I love that. Anyway, I'm thinking out loud again. FSG out all day, every day. Liverpool fans. See, these are proper Liverpool fans on the terrace. We have the proper Liverpool fans on the football terrace, you know, not afraid to speak up. Remember, you're free of communist Merseyside here. Here, you are safe. You can speak your mind. You can seek asylum here and speak out. We will not end up in the gulag. You're not in the gulag. Don't worry about it. At this rate, if the season continues like this, Arsenal, they postpone the whole film until next year. Well, listen, maybe they should postpone it until next year, and then they can film their promotion from the Championship.
Yeah, when they win, actually win all. You know what I mean? They win all of it in the Championship, bro. You know what I mean? Go
back
for it
again. Do you know what? They're not going to get relegated.
They're not.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Oh, it would be. Oh, this is a great comment here. All for nothing is the correct. That is brilliant. I like that. That is very good. Very good.
RDX.
Absolutely. Pav said Ozil is releasing a documentary of what happened to him with the club, and the managers is gonna be exposed. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Man's will be walking in with one of those secret £30 cameras you can buy that you put into your buttonhole on your shirt. Listen, bro, I got one of them. I used to use those things if I was going into like tough meetings with people where I thought they were going to lie. I'd wear that and record it just in case I put any allegations in. Never had to use it, but I bought one. I bought a spy cam. He's put it into my shirt. Trust me, never get into a meeting with someone that you got. You know, like when you get bad vibes from someone, you think someone's going to try and screw me over here. Always record the conversation. That way, if they try and lie, like there was a guy once had a phone call with me, and then tried talking online about how like I said all these bad things, and I said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" He's like, "Yeah." Said I played him a little snippet that I recorded the phone call. Suddenly deleted his tweets and he hadn't ever said anything about me again. Like literally, there's some bad people out there. You got to protect yourselves. Protect yourselves.
One could say maybe you attract what you are. I'm just gonna say.
Maybe it's all me. Maybe it's all me. Arsenal are the new Sunderland. Arsenal are the new Sunderland. I've only, by the way, recorded like 3 conversations, but it's only with people that I get bad vibes from. Bad vibes, people. You've got to protect yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Got to protect yourselves. Terry pressuring people. No. I'm not pressuring anybody. It's like, well, if I don't trust you, I don't trust you. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to protect myself. By the way, I look at it like this. Have you seen Keanu Reeves when he takes pictures now with women? Like for fans, have you seen what he does? Like he doesn't put his hands on them at all. You can see his hands hover behind them. He doesn't touch him.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I am taking no risks. Do you know what I mean? Protecting myself. Do you know what I mean? One of them ones there. Right. We're going to take some more calls right now. Glorious Gooner's coming. Safe is going to join us as well. Keep those super chats coming this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Smash that like and share button. It's Lady Freya's birthday today as well. I might try and get Lady Freya to come on. She's currently brushing Elsa's hair. I'll see where Freya... Let me see where she is. Hang on a second. Freya!
Wait, you see how my man's trying to get more views while bringing on the kids and that. All right, listen, we know what he's up to, people. We know what he's up to.
Come and say hello to everyone. Come here. They want to say happy birthday to you. Come here, baby. Why you look so nervous? You got your handbag. That's very nice. Come here, please, baby. Come, Daddy. Are you all shy? She's gone all she's gone shy. Come here, baby. Come. Do you want me to come get you? Come here, then. She's gone very shy. Come here, look. Go ahead. What's the matter? You gone shy? Oh, you all shy? Look, everyone's saying happy birthday. Look, do you want to put the earphones on so you can hear KJ? So you can hear Uncle KJ. 1 second, listen.
Oh, uncle now, jeez.
Hear him.
Yeah, happy birthday, Freya. You are one of the best things about the football terrace, and you're gonna be an amazing woman when you grow up. So keep doing what you're doing. Happy birthday, little one.
Turn around. Let me take these back. Listen, Frey. Oh, I'm getting your hair. Do you want to share everybody your new handbag? Where's your handbag? Put it up to the camera. Look, turn it around. She's gone very shy. Have you been straightening your hair? Have you straightened your hair? Did Mummy straighten your hair? Because it smells straightened. You know, hair straight. Right. Listen, come here. Give me a kiss. What are you got all shy for? You want to say hello? Give me a kiss.
Ah, just stroked your face.
Right, you go play and I'll be out soon, okay? And we're gonna go do something. All right. Do you want to go for dinner later with the Cowboys and Cowgirls? So we go for dinner and get with the Cowboys and Cowgirls. Do you want to do that? Yeah, we'll go out for dinner later. Cool. All right. You pop off there and I'll come see you in a minute.
Dyke says she looks like you, Terry.
She does. She's blessed with looks, bruv. Like she's got the looks. 100%. Thank you, Costa. Very, very much appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much, Chumbe, as well. Lady Maria Williams in the house. Thank you much indeed. Yeah, she's been very, very spoiled today. She's never been shy like that. She's proper shy. So don't talk to me. Right, let's bring some more callers on this morning to have their say, to join me and KJ. First up, Inglorious Gooner is with us. Let's go. Welcome to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say this morning?
Hi, Jay. I want to talk a bit about FSG and why I think Liverpool fans should have a bit more faith in FSG. Because obviously, if you compare them to Man City's and Chelsea's owners, it looks like a mile of difference. And that's basically because, like Arsenal's owners, the Cronkies, FSG want to be run Liverpool in a self-sufficient way, obviously. That's just because they don't have the kind of money that the sheikhs or that Abramovich has. And obviously, being self-sufficient, you could be like a Stan Kroenke. But the biggest difference between the two, I believe, is that Stan Kroenke, obviously, to me, has an incompetence in footballing terms. And additionally, he also has an apathy towards Arsenal. Whereas I believe that FSG, not only do they have certain ambition to win within a self-sufficient way, but also they do have a good level of competency in football. And we've seen that with because they obviously took over Liverpool. It was actually a forced sale because of the debt that the previous owners had racked up of Liverpool. And since FSG has been there, they've made some great decisions. They've hired Michael Edwards, who obviously is reported that he would be leaving Liverpool. But they did hire Michael Edwards, who's done a fantastic job. The recruitment at Liverpool in their tenure has actually been great, considering the money they've spent compared to other clubs. They've hired Jurgen Klopp, one of the biggest masterstrokes in the modern history of that club as well. And that for me is the reason why, as a Liverpool fan, I would have a bit more faith. If I was a Liverpool fan, I would have more faith in them. Because as an Arsenal fan, I have zero faith in the Cronkies to hire the right people to make decisions. Whereas with FSG, they've proven they have hired people who have brought them success. Remember, this is also under these owners, they had the Brendan Rodgers era, where with a squad that really shouldn't have been anywhere near the title, they were able to do that with recruitment such as Luis Suarez, bringing through young players like Raheem Sterling, etc. And yeah, that's just my opinion on FSG.
Listen, and I think you're obviously entitled to that, and a lot of Liverpool fans agree with what you've said there. There are others though that feel like they've done a great job. They got us back to winning. People want to maintain that winning edge. And when you see Chelsea's and City's and even Man United's to a degree spending like they spent, even though Arsenal spent the money badly, they still dropped £135 million on players this year. And Liverpool fans feel like with all the boasting about unprecedented deals, sponsorship deals that have reshaped football, the new stadium, etc., they do feel like more money should be put into the club. Thank you very much for calling in, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate that, mate. Thank you. Next on the show, we're going to have, I always say his name wrong. I can't pronounce it again, KJ. Father. Fator. There we go. It's in my head. There we go. Welcome back to the... How do I say your name properly, mate? Can you say it for me?
KJ is right. Fator, yeah.
Fator. So I'm going to keep getting it wrong because I said it wrong once and my brain didn't work like that. But sorry, Fator. Got it. Like, what do you want to say, mate?
Yeah, not a good news to start with so far with the Jules Kounde news kind of sinking in, because I think this is the problem when we do transfer window at this late, the day before it close. I feel like Marina's have to take the blame here, because I think she waited really late until Sevilla asking for the price more, and that's what's eventually going to happen to us at some point. And we all know that Sevilla's can't find any replacement right now, so they're asking Chelsea for more price. And from Chelsea's perspective, what it took so long is because the way West Ham handling the business with us, with Kurt Zouma as well, and it's just baffled me a lot. And I feel like if we could have added Koundé to our squad, it could have been a massive boost for us. And don't forget, you got the resurgence of Trevor Chalobah as well. I understand like the squad depth in this Chelsea team is huge, but I think it could be a costly move from Marina, and it could be a massive dent to our title contender hopes. And I feel like that defensive line, especially right hand side, I think that's we've been missing the most, because I think Aspie haven't got the legs yet. For me, I think he's going to be retiring in the next couple of years, and I think what Thomas Tuchel going to do with Koundé is like he's want to put as a right centre back, and they can have Reece James over there. So massive miss today from Marina.
And look, we'll see what's going to happen. There's a report that's just come out from AS who have said here that I'm going to try and read this out and get it right. And I know everybody questions their validity, but they've said if Chelsea don't make an offer of between 50 to 60 million euros for Jules Kounde today, Sevilla will stick to their 80 million euro release clause as their asking price for the 22-year-old and won't negotiate for less. So something's got to give here. Someone's going to have to crack, or a happy medium is going to be found for this deal to go through. Sevilla are trying to not pull a fast one, but they've even got it to a point where Koundé's left the country. Man sitting in Paris, weren't in the matchday squad, and now it's like, now we'll throw this in. But let's see what happens in relation to that. Thank you very much for calling in, mate, and having your say with us. Really appreciate that, bro. Top man. Thank you. And to Damien here, thank you very much for that. Such a generous donation and the message to my daughter for her birthday. Thank you very, very much indeed for doing that. It means a great deal to me and to everybody at the Football Terrace. And of course, thank you to our previous few callers. Safe's on the show now to have you say welcome back, mate. What do you want to say, buddy?
Hey guys, how are you?
Very well.
First of all, Ole is a fraud. Ole needs to get a sack immediately. We have content that is available. Sudan that is available. Look at our performance yesterday. It was shit performance, right? I'm so pissed off with Ole. The guy needs to get a sack immediately.
Is that what you think, Safe? Or is that what you heard people say?
Every single Manchester United fan, I think that Ole is a fraud. The guy needs to go. He needs to get the sack. Honestly, I mean, the game against Wolves, it was shambolic. I mean, this is not type of Fergie style football. Ole needs to get a sack immediately. Every single Manchester United fan, every runs there, he doesn't Ole. And I've been saying this for a long time,
No, you haven't.
Ole needs to get a sack.
No, so what you've done there, and big up Rants, You've watched Rance's stream and you're coming on here and you're being a parrot and you're repeating what you've heard, aren't you? You are not. You're
No,
allowed to
I'm not
think.
being a pilot.
No, you're being a parrot. You're being a parrot. Because I guarantee if I go and watch Rance's stream, the words you've just used are pretty much what he said. You're basically, you know, those people that like copy someone else's tweet and then push it out of their own tweet. They don't quote it. You're just doing that, bro. You're pushing out somebody else's opinion as your own, looking for traction. Because in 2 weeks' time, you're going to come on here and say, Ollie's a legend and you love him. Like, literally,
No. It's not.
a madman.
When was the last time I told Oli is a legend? Oli needs to get the sack.
About a month ago.
Contest available.
You come on this show when we improve it. I don't need to prove anything. When we signed Rafael Varane, you were talking about Ollie this, Ollie that. Ollie's pulled them in. We're gonna have a good season. Honestly, bro, you're mad. You're a mad one. You're a mad man. You're a mad man.
I'm not like you said. Every time the wind blows north, I head north. Every time the wind blows south, I head south. Oli is a fraud. The guy needs to go, right? With this current squad, Manchester United should be winning the Premier League. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I hear what you're saying. The one word I'm waiting for you to throw in is a Yanar. I'm waiting for you to throw in a UNA, a Yanar. Like a lot of people, I see a lot of people do that on socials now. They don't talk like that, but they tweet like it. So weird. Please don't do it. Don't tweet
I'm
words.
So pissed off with Oli.
I know you are. Don't tweet words that you don't use in your vocab. So I saw someone who never said. I've seen people recently change the way they talk in their tweets, where they say things like, I saw a man drop the word man them, right? And he's never used that in his life. In his life. And suddenly he's like tweeting like it. Don't you start doing that, Safe. Stop being a parrot. Listen, big up to the people that speak in that way, but speak with your own tongue. Speak like yourself. It's very strange. Listen, Safe. Take care, mate.
I do speak in my own heart. Yes, I'm a real Manchester United supporter. I spend I spent £1,000 on buying Manchester United kit. I showed you.
Why do you do that?
Why? Because I love my football club. I'm a true Manchester United supporter. I support my club. I'm not a fake Manchester United supporter like you, if it was. That doesn't buy Manchester United kits. That doesn't spend money on the football club.
Wait,
and that's facts.
Safe. Do you like the Glazers?
Me, no.
So why are you buying the kits?
Because I love my football club. I respect my football club. You need to have loyalty in football.
Honestly, KJ, it is not worth it. It's Safe. Do you want to come down to our studio one day?
Yes, I would love to. Where are you based?
Maybe.
Where are you based? Because I'm working. I'm working from 8 to 4, so I'm working in Canary
Where are you based? Where are you based?
In Brent, Neath. I'm not going to give you my full address, so.
I don't want your address, bro. I'm not going to come looking for you, brother. Listen, top man, thanks for coming on, having your say. Appreciate it. I love that kid. We know FSG aren't capable of taking us to the next level. However, we can't discard them because Liverpool is the only non-oil club not running on debt. And again, there are positives about FSG. Absolutely. Another happy birthday to Freya message there. Thank you very much indeed. Man like Robbie says, no offense to Safe. He was more positive when he was wearing the United jersey. Also seems like Cavani may not be heading for international duties. I do think Man United will win that battle. I think, do you know what I think it was with the Cavani thing? It was the way it was announced, and I don't think players were briefed. I don't think players like Cavani were told, we're going to do this because of X, Y, and Z. It was announced, and this is what life's about sometimes. It's not what you do, it's how or why you're doing it that people care about. Some breaking news, though, that came out yesterday, if you haven't seen it, in relation to Man United, that I want to share with people is, this has come from Jonathan, who's very reliable when it comes to Man United. He says that Ronaldo is set to get the number 7 shirt. The club have come to an agreement with the EPL, and Cavani was willing to give it up. So Ronnie is probably going to get his number 7 shirt. And someone did actually tweet this, not tweet this. Somebody put this in to chat the other day, and they were like, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. It's Cristiano Ronaldo's replacement. It's taken so long to replace Ronaldo. Ronaldo is his own replacement. And I actually thought, somebody would have told you that when he was sold, we're not going to replace Ronaldo until we re-sign him in 12 years' time. You just said, you liar. You're a liar. Go on, mate, go on.
No, what's mad, yeah? The whole number thing, yeah? Like, the EPL or the Premier League, all they saw was cash money and was like, I don't care what the rules are about registration and numbers. You are giving Ronaldo the number 7 shirt because that brings so much into the Premier League. And also, it just confirms that Dan James is going with Cavani wears 21 for Uruguay. He'll take the 21. Dan James will leave.
Yeah. That was the only thing I was frustrated with yesterday, though, is in the last 2 games, 2 players that we're probably going to sell in Lingard and Dan James came on where Donny could have done that. That did bother me. We're going to go to final call of the show. We're going to get Abs on to have his say. What are you saying, Abs?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Very well, thank you. What's on your mind, bro?
Oh,
he's gone. He's gone.
Good day.
Yeah, just saying hello. Just giving us a nice little hello. Listen, everybody that's tuned in today, though, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. If you're watching on Twitter, please give us a retweet. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure you follow. Everyone who's here right now, go into the link in the description below. Go follow my Twitter account, as you can see here, at Terry Flewers. Go and give that a little follow for us, please, ladies and gentlemen. Really important that you go and do that for me. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God